Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
What am I drink? What am I think? You're listening to Popeye News Links. This is the Admiral Tibet who I represent, and remember, the time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. This is Popeye News Links.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. So you might have heard me saying that I'm a past student of the Lucy Primary School in the parish of Hanover. Well, after leaving the Lucy Primary School, I attended the Marti Technical High School at Twickenham Park in the parish of St. Catherine. When I attended, it was a secondary school and it was also a boarding school. Now, the Marti Past Student Association, they are trying to raise some much needed funds to assist with some school projects. Next week, Friday, October 13, they are presenting a night called AferBeat Friday. It will be held on the school compound and will be starting at 7 p.m. It will be a night of fun and excitement. Don't miss it. Sharon, you celebrated your 60th birthday yesterday. Your daughter, Althea, as well as your grandchildren, Chandre and Alashe, they had asked us to wish you a happy birthday. Queen Sharon, let's hope that yesterday you had a wonderful birthday and may you live to see a whole heap more. In today's journey, we have just passed Middlesex and we are heading towards Lucy in the parish of Hanover. Hanover people, if you know where we are starting today's journey, drop it in the comment section. But continue to sit back, continue to relax and continue to enjoy this journey with me. So we took the day off yesterday. As a result, we are going to be having a jam-packed video today. Lots of stories. So without further ado, this one took place Thursday afternoon, October 5, about some minutes to 5 o'clock. It took place along the Long Hill Main Road in the parish of St. James. We are learning that a 2015 Toyota Hiace bus, loaded with mostly students leaving school, was traveling along the Long Hill Main Road. It was traveling from the direction of Anchovy towards Montego Bay. On reaching a certain section along the Long Hill Main Road, and at this section of the road, the retaining wall has been broken off for a very long while. Now, if you look on your screen, that is where I'm talking about. On reaching that section of the road, it appears as if the driver for the bus, he ended up losing control of it. As a result, the bus went over the gully on the left side of the roadway. And when Mr. Gully, I'm talking about a depth of over 250 feet. It is really a miracle how anyone survived this crash. If you look on the screen now, that is what is left of the Toyota Hiace. One man died on the spot. Now, our information is that his name is Dillon Hines, but we are not sure about his age or his address. We are also told that at least 8 passengers who were in the bus, they were taken to hospital for all kind of injuries. Sad indeed. And talking about sad indeed, we are learning that a lady, her name is Mrs. Althea McKenzie Allen. On the 27th of this month, she would be celebrating her 61st birthday. Mrs. Allen, she lived at Cooper's Hill in the parish of St. James. For many years, Mrs. Allen, she was a teacher. However, she was forced to retire earlier than expected because she had contracted Parkinson's disease. We are also learning that in recent times, Mrs. Allen, who was mostly at home, she fell into a state of depression. Our information is that yesterday afternoon, about some minutes to 6 o'clock, Mrs. Allen's husband, he returned home when he saw his wife with a rope tied to her neck and tied to the ceiling fan in a back bedroom in the house. Mr. Allen, He ran and picked up a kitchen knife, which he used to cut the rope. And in trying to save his wife's life, he did mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, but it was too late. She was already DEAD. The police, they were called in, and we are learning that a note was found, and this note is suspected to have been written by Mrs. Allen. In the note, Mrs. Allen is said to have outlined why she took her own 3 points, and she begged for forgiveness. Investigations are continuing, but so far, the police, they are suspecting that Mrs. Allen is responsible for her own demise. Sad indeed. In this next story, this one took place on Thursday, October 5, about some minutes after 12 midday. It took place at Flower Hill in the parish of St. James. We are learning that a joint police-military team, acting on intelligence, they carried out a raid in the area. A house was searched and bingo. Now, if you look on your screen, that black PA-15 rifle with the serial number intact, affixed with that magazine containing 25 5.56 rounds, were found on the roof of the house. That black and silver Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol with the serial number intact, affixed with that magazine containing 12 rounds of 9mm cartridges, were found on the top of a cupboard in the living room. We are told that the guy who lived at the house, he's called Edgar. He was taken into police custody and he's facing charges. Also, you remember I carried a story last week, Saturday, September 30. Hoodlums broke into a house in the Irwin area of St. James and they stole 2 Remington shotguns, a quantity of rounds and other items. Well, on Thursday morning, October 5, a team of police officers from the St. James Division, acting on intelligence, they went to retirement district in the parish of St. James. 2 abandoned houses and an empty lot were searched. During the search, a garbage bin, which is on the empty lot, was searched and bingo. The 2 Remington shotguns plus 17 12-gauge cartridges were found. No one was arrested in connection with this find, but investigations are continuing. Intelligencers, big up on yourself, and St. James Police, job well done. In this next story, this one took place last night, Friday, October 6, about 11 o'clock. It took place at Whitehall in Negril in the parish of Westmoreland. We are learning that a joint police-military team, they were on patrol in the area when a guy was seen walking along the roadway. On seeing the joint police-military team, we are told that the guy, he ran off to the back of a house. He was chased and he was seen dropping an object on the ground. He was held and the object retrieved and bingo. The object, it was found to be 1 Glock 17 9mm pistol with the serial number intact. It was affixed with a magazine containing 3 rounds of 9mm cartridges. As a result, the guy was arrested and charged by the police. He told the police that his name is Rick Grayson and he is 24 years old of a Whitehall Negril address. So the question is, if Rick is his correct name, what was Rick's mission last night? Whose life did the police and soldiers save last night? Officers of the JDF and JCF, job well done. This next incident, it took place Thursday night, October 5, about 8 o'clock. It took place at a mini-mart at Tollgate in the parish of Westmoreland. We are learning that some persons, mostly men, they were in the mini-mart playing domino when a silver Toyota Axio motor car drove up and stopped. A hoodlum entered the mini-mart with a gun in his hand. We are told that the hoodlum, he placed a knapsack bag on the counter and told the cashier to fill it up with liquor. He then pointed the gun at the men who were playing domino and told them to hand over all their money. A taxi driver in his late 40s, He was among the persons who were playing domino. We are told that the taxi driver, he took out his money and threw it on the ground. The hoodlum, he got upset and fired a shot. He then accosted the taxi driver who held on to the gun. Both of them, they started wrestling for the gun. Now, during this time, a shot went off, hitting the taxi driver under his left armpit. The taxi driver, him decided that him nah let go the gun. As a result, the gun was broken in two. The hoodlum, he ran off with a piece of the gun and jumped into the Axio, and he and his crony, they made good their escape. The taxi driver, he was assisted to a nearby hospital where he was treated and admitted. We are told that when the police arrived on the scene, the firearm handle grip, one magazine containing 3 live 9mm rounds, as also an additional 5 9mm rounds that fell from the gun, and 2 9mm spent shells were recovered by the police from the scene. Let's hope that this taximan is gonna survive. Over at Central Village in the parish of St. Catherine, a young police constable, he's lucky to be alive. The incident took place at Harmony Heights at a place named Compound in Central Village. It took place late last night, about 11:30. We are learning that the police constable, he's about 27 years old, and he was visiting his baby mother in the area when he heard gunshots being fired near to the house where he was. We are told that the policeman, he came out of the house with his gun in his hand, and he went to move his car from where it was parked to park it at another spot. Our information is that the police constable, he saw at least 5 hoodlums on the road armed with rifles. What did Squaddy do? He decided to challenge the hoodlums. Shots were fired on both sides. Squaddy, he was hit. He received a gunshot wound to his left upper back. As a result, Squaddy, he lost control of his grey Mazda Demio motor car, which crashed into a wall. We are also told that when Squaddy was injured and in the car, one of the hoodlums walked up to him and said, "Police boy, what you a do?" The hoodlums, they then walked away. Apparently. Anyway, the hoodlums, they then walked away, making good their escape. Squaddy, he was later assisted by his colleagues who were called to the scene to a nearby hospital where he was treated and admitted in a critical condition. Let's hope Squaddy survive. In this next incident, this one took place early yesterday morning, Friday, October 6, about 9 o'clock. It took place right in the vicinity of Fraswell Car Wash at Farm Heights in the parish of St. James. We are learning that guy on your screen, his name is Darron Das, but he was popularly known as There or Biggs. Biggs was born on Valentine's Day, 1992, 31 years old. We are told that Biggs, he's originally from the flankers area of Montego Bay, but he had to flee that area and was now living at Farm Heights. Well, for whatever reason, hoodlums wanted Biggs and they wanted him badly. Yesterday morning, Biggs, he was sitting on a chair in front of the car wash when he was approached by a hoodlum who was armed with a gun. The hoodlum, he opened a barrage of gunshots at Biggs, hitting him in his upper body. Biggs, he fell face down on the ground, and the hoodlum, he went over Biggs and pumped several more bullets into his head and his upper body. And that was it for Biggs. He died on the spot. The hoodlum, he then made good his escape. The police, they were called, and when they processed this crime scene, 17 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem. And still in the parish of St. James. This one took place last night, Friday, October 6, about some minutes after 11 o'clock. It took place right in the vicinity of a upholstery shop on Hart Street in Montego Bay in the parish of St. James. We are told that residents of the area, they heard gunshots being fired. When the shooting subsided, the residents, they went and made checks. And we are told that a man, his name is Christopher Davis, but he was popularly known as Dusty or Pudding Man. Pudding Man, he was born on February 8th, 1991, and he was a vendor and lived at Hart Street in Montego Bay. The residents found Pudding Man lying along the roadway with gunshot wounds to his upper body. They rushed with him to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where Pudding Man, he was pronounced DEAD. The police, they were informed, and when they processed this crime scene, 6 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem. So let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all so that whenever we drop a new video, you'll be one of the first to be notified. In the final story for today, that man on your screen, his name is Mr. Gibbs Anthony Williams, but he was popularly known as Gibbo. On January 17, coming up, Gibbo, he would be celebrating his 56th birthday. Gibbo was the vice principal at the GC Foster College, and he was living at Keystone Drive in Spanish Town in the parish of St. Catherine. Gibbo, he was deeply involved in sports. In fact, Gibbo was once a teacher at my alma mater, Marti. In June of this year, Gibbo, he was the guest speaker at a sports award ceremony put on by Marti. At the end of this story, I'm going to be playing a part of Gibbo's speech. Stand by for that. Now, Gibbo, he was also an administrator in national cricket in Jamaica, but someone wanted Gibbo dead. The question is who? The next question is why? Was Gibbo trailed, or did someone close to Gibbo knew exactly where he would be? Yesterday morning, Friday, October 6, at minutes after 11 o'clock, Gibbo, he drove his brand new 2023 green Toyota RAV4 to the Portmore Hospital complex at Megaway in Portmore for a medical appointment. He was seen by the doctor, and when he was done, he was heading towards his motor vehicle that was parked on the compound when Gibbo was ambushed. A hitman opened gunfire, hitting Gibbo twice in his chest. He managed to run back inside the premises where he collapsed and fell, and that was it for Gibbo. He died as a result. We are told that when the police processed this crime scene, 2 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. So the question is, who was it that paid to carry out this hit on Gibbo, and why? The mayhem continues. Now, as promised, here is a part of the speech that Mr. Gibbs Anthony Williams, also known as Gibbo, gave at the Marti Sports Award in June of this year. Watch this.
As excellent as those performances were, you must also remember sports is more than just winning. Sports teach us valuable life lessons about teamwork, perseverance, resilience. They remind us that success is not achieved alone, but through the support and encouragement of our teammates, our coaches, teachers, and yes, our parents. So let us take a moment to recognize and thank all our coaches, teachers, and support staff. Yes, I gather all Come, if you're clapping them, clap no man. Yes, I recognize today all teams have managers now who have worked tirelessly to help our student athletes reach their full potential. And let us also acknowledge the families and friends who have provided unwavering support and encouragement all the way. Athletes, you are now in the learning phase of your development. This is the time when Mr. Pinnock, Mr. Green, and all the other coaches are most critical to your development. Greatest emphasis is placed on improving and fine-tuning your technique. They will fine-tune your technique so that we may see many more days like today. It is the hope that you will then move to your earning years. Today, sports in Jamaica is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I went to Barbados last year and I was speaking to some parents, and they were track and field parents. And when I explained to them the amount of money a regional cricketer makes, immediately they were about to switch their kids from participating in track and field. And I said, no. The day your kid becomes an international athletic star, the sky is the limit as it relates to earning. This is where you can earn salaries and endorsement deals that can change your lives and make your school and communities proud. And then you will now be in a position where you can give back. So we call this the returning phase. Think about the fact that someone, somewhere, a teacher, a coach, who had to provide much needed resources for you today. It may have been in the form of a simple bus fare or a lunch money. And I was so elated when I sat and listened. Dr. Austin spoke of the fact that all student athletes will now be getting that level of support. Again, we need to pause and recognize. Students, make sure whenever you get to this stage of your development, you can give back to help the unfortunate ones coming up who will be sitting right where you are today. The next thing I want to touch on is balancing academics and sports. Too often we make the mistake of thinking academics and sports are separate entities. They are not separate entities. As a matter of fact, I'm here to tell you that both sports and academics must be pursued with the same level of seriousness as they complement each other. And just in case one does not work out for you, you can fall back on the other as you can support yourselves. As young as you are, I want to encourage you to create and build your own sports profile. Building your sports profile creates your image or brand. Your image is what will sell you. Think of icons in sports like Usain Bolt, and the older folks will tell you about Michael Jordan. It is their brand or image that is paying them today, years after their playing days are over. which leads me now to talk about life beyond sports. The average age of a modern day sportsman is about 30 to 35 years. So I think probably the eldest one of you here is about 18. So you have another 17 years of playing active sports. After that, you are expected to live a comfortable life where you can pay your bills and take care of your families. Think of the bigger picture. And that is why student athletes, I'm going to say to our school community, Marti family, if we do not have a policy where when our children go to matches and they will play their games and they will spend a day from school, from classes, and they will miss that, we must put a policy in place where the entire family will see that at the end of the day, those students are given special classes to catch up. It is important, Madam Vice Principal, because too often, and you know, I stand there and I'm an academic vice principal now, and even at the tertiary level, we see where some people believe, oh, the students are out playing sport. We don't play sport anymore. Sport is a way of life. And so we need to put a policy in place. When they miss classes, we give them those makeup classes because it's important for their development. This afternoon, we celebrate not only the victories on the field, but also the character, determination, the spirit of our student athletes. Congratulations to all athletes who will receive their awards and who have represented the school with pride and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Vlog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. Just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them knock out can't take, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane, everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of the gun. East and north and south when me turn. Country and town, man a play blood a run. Murder, don't you baby me hear them a murder. Cut it out, tell